Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you can introduce yourself, your name and your organization, we can start there.
Sure, thank you so much for the opportunity. My name's Hugh. I'm from the Australian Red Cross here in SA, and I'm from the Volunteer and Community Activation team.
Awesome, thank you. Could you tell us a little bit about your organization and perhaps what volunteer opportunities you are offering in soon or future?
Sure, not a problem at all. Look, we have a variety of opportunities, but I'll go back and just explain in brief what the Red Cross is all about. It's one of those things that can be a little confusing for some just because it's such a big organization, well known, but we specialize in just about everything. So I'll just start off with a bit of an overview. So the focus of the Red Cross in 2020 is on humanitarian action in Australia and abroad. Humanitarian action covers a huge range of different things. It doesn't just mean the kind of thing that comes to mind for a lot of people like international aid. We do a lot in Australia, and in fact, that's the majority of what we do. We save lives and support people before and after disasters. That's a well-known part of what we do. That could be a conflict, but more recently that's been natural disasters like bushfires, and we work to assist the most vulnerable community members. That's always our focus. We also do advocacy to policymakers, politicians, those kinds of people to improve the situation of the most vulnerable in Australia and around the world, mainly in the Asia Pacific. And our advocacy is always based on evidence. We're an evidence-based organisation with a huge depth of expertise. And our focus is always on the most vulnerable, the kind of people that miss out on other kinds of supports. And most recently, during COVID, we've had a whole bunch of special programs rolled out in response, particularly for those who are not supported by government schemes. And after bushfires, we similarly have a lot of grants and other programs that help people respond and rebuild their lives more quickly than they would otherwise had they only relied on other kinds of government and other supports.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the insight. Is there any other additional comments perhaps you might have for our volunteers or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm happy to go through a few of the key areas that people volunteer in, and just to let you know that we do have opportunities for you and all of the students, regardless of age, mature age or young students just coming straight out of school. There's a lot of opportunities at Red Cross, and I'd encourage people to think about the Red Cross when they think about starting their volunteer journey. Volunteering is kind of something that a lot of people do across their lifetime, dip in and out of, and it's really rewarding. It's a way to use the skills you learn through your studies, but more than that, it's a way of developing community connection. So in South Australia, we've got a whole bunch of programs. Emergency services is one of them, as I mentioned before, responding to things like bushfires. We've got social support programs mainly for the elderly. We have some justice programs for those in prison and on release, and it's all about preventing that happening and also preventing reoffending and that kind of thing. We've got a focus on international humanitarian law, as we do around the world. Migration support for vulnerable migrants, both refugees, asylum seekers, and more recently, a lot of skilled migrants as well who've needed our support throughout COVID, and our retail shops as well. That's another area people can volunteer in.
Fantastic. Sounds like you got so much different groups going, and I hope that a lot of different type of volunteers can join you guys as well. So yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely, not a problem at all. And if anybody wants to know where they can find out about those opportunities, our website is the best place to go. So that's redcross.org.au/volunteering. And on there, you'll see a whole bunch of opportunities and they change all the time. So keep checking.